The morning light crept slowly over the horizon, casting a golden glow that filled the air with warmth and promise. It was the kind of dawn that whispered excitement throughout the tourist camp, nestled in the heart of a vibrant jungle. The sky transformed from deep navy blue to soft lavender as the first rays of sunshine broke through the lush canopy, trickling down like honey. Birds stirred in their nests, filling the air with sweet melodies that bounced between the trees. The soft rustle of leaves swaying with a gentle breeze added to the symphony of nature that welcomed a new day. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more. And tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. At this moment, the camp was waking up. The tents, arranged in neat lines, looked almost magical under the touch of sunlight. As tourists began to stretch and yawn, they pulled back their zippers with anticipation, foreshadowing an adventure-filled day. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifted through the air, inviting sleepy travelers to gather at the communal area where smiles and chattering filled the spaces between laughter and stories shared over breakfast. Around them, nature continued its performance. Monkeys chattered from branches high above, swinging from limb to limb while squirrels darted playfully across the ground. The sound of water gently splashing nearby suggested a small stream winding its way through the thick foliage. Insects buzzed merrily, completing the orchestra of a wild morning in paradise. Amidst this vibrant setting, an air of curiosity began to swirl around as whispers spread among the early risers. Rumors of wildlife sightings floated through breakfast conversations like sugar into hot tea. Some guests excitedly spoke about their hopes of spotting elephants or leopards on today's excursions. The thrill of being in such close proximity to majestic creatures made them feel alive and eager. Each person carried a camera ready for action, hoping to capture a snapshot of the wonders that nature had to offer. As they sipped on their drinks and shared anecdotes about previous encounters with wildlife, one family pointed toward the treetops, where a shadow seemed to loom larger than life among the leaves. It was hard to tell if it was just their imaginations playing tricks or if something truly grand was lurking nearby. Everyone turned their attention toward it, their hearts racing with excitement. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes broke through their chatter, and all heads turned instinctively towards the sound. The excitement grew palpable as a stunning silhouette stepped gracefully into view, an elephant. Its massive frame radiated serenity as it emerged from behind the thicket. It paused for a brief moment, allowing everyone to drink in its grandeur. Tusks gleamed in the sun, while its skin reflected shades of gray, with hints of earthy brown. Gasps filled the air as voices softened in awe. The elephant stood tall, ears flapping gently as it acclimated itself to the bustling sight filled with eager eyes. For those who had never seen an elephant up close before, this was a rare treat, an unforgettable encounter with one of nature's giants. Eyes sparkled with interest, children pointed excitedly, while mothers shushed them softly so they could bask in this special moment. Cameras clicked incessantly as tourists captured shots that would immortalize their precious memory forever. The atmosphere shifted. What was once a casual breakfast became a whirlwind of energy focused solely on this magnificent creature. With every step it took toward them, it seemed as though time slowed down. People held their breath as if not to disturb this extraordinary visitor from its journey. Questions floated around silently. What would it do? Would it approach them? Could they get closer? The morning sun continued its ascent, filtering through branches overhead and casting patterns on the ground beneath their feet. The rhythm of nature pulsed around them as everyone waited with bated breath for whatever might unfold next at this captivating tourist camp at dawn. Little did they know that this tranquil start would soon take an unexpected turn, leading them into an unforgettable experience that would echo through their hearts long after they returned home from their journeys in this land full of wonder. As hope swelled and anticipation buzzed among them like fireflies at twilight, everyone remained fixated on one simple question: what would happen next? As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting dappled light through the trees, the atmosphere around the tourist camp grew electric with anticipation. The rustle of leaves and the calls of chirping birds were temporarily forgotten as a collective sense of wonder enveloped every visitor. It felt as if they were all part of a magical story unfolding before their very eyes. Just beyond the dense thicket, a silhouette began to emerge, moving with an elegance that was surprising for such a large creature. Slowly but surely, the majestic elephant revealed itself, stepping carefully onto a small clearing between thick trees. Its massive gray body seemed to glow under the morning sun, showing off every wrinkle and fold in its skin. Tourists gazed in awe as it gracefully ambled forward, towering above bushes and low-hanging branches. This wasn't just any elephant. This was nature at its most magnificent. A gentle giant whose presence had an air of both power and peace. Its long trunk hung low, swaying slightly as it moved through the underbrush. The sunlight caught its tusks, making them gleam like polished ivory. Each step was measured, embodying a calmness that resonated with everyone watching. Children squealed in delight and pointed at this astonishing sight, while parents beamed smiles of sheer joy. The camera clicks filled the air again, as many sought to capture this rare moment on film. A family from halfway around the world marveled at their good fortune. They had hoped for such wildlife encounters, but hadn't expected anything quite like this. As the elephant drew closer to the camp, a hush fell over the tourists. Every conversation halted in mid-sentence as heads turned instinctively toward this living spectacle. The thrill was palpable. Hearts raced even faster than before as they took in every detail of its majestic form. From its great ears flapping gently like huge sails, catching a soft breeze, to those enormous feet moving silently over fallen leaves and twigs. With an expression of serene curiosity, the elephant paused for a moment right at the edge of camp, its large dark eyes scanning the area as if assessing these strange creatures, all gathered intently to watch. There was an undeniable connection created in that instant. Tourists found themselves holding their breath under its gaze, as if daring not to disturb this tranquil giant before them. Some brave souls ventured closer without thinking twice, enchanted by its beauty and gracefulness. They whispered among themselves about how lucky they felt. Sightings like these were often once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Friends nudged each other with excitement while exclaiming how amazing it would be if it came even nearer. Yet there was something more magnificent than just being close to an elephant. The unspoken bond that formed among fellow visitors united under one shared experience. Strangers became friends over an extraordinary moment where everyone forgot their worries outside this little slice of jungle paradise. As it took another step toward them, brushing aside some ferns with its trunk, laughter erupted from different corners of camp. Even those who initially appeared timid found courage amid such beauty and wonder. Each person felt they were part of something larger than themselves through this encounter with nature's embodiment of strength and gentleness combined. The tranquility around them created a sacred space where time seemed suspended. Nothing else mattered except this breathtaking presence before them. Conversations turned into whispers as everyone delightedly pointed or reached for their cameras again, eager to preserve cherished memories against life's sweeping currents. Suddenly, the forest buzz shifted slightly, with an unexpected rustle beyond mere curiosity. It signaled that something important might soon happen. The moment hung thick in anticipation, like tension drawing tight before release, when finally, with each advance toward their bustling camp life, and perhaps outpacing anyone's expectations, the gentle giant brought forth mystery, along with just another ordinary day coming alive among curious minds, questing adventure within nature's playground. It stood proudly now at last, just within arm's reach. Eyes wide open, filled with delight, anticipated unknown wonders soon waiting. Ahead. But what could transpire next? The moment the elephant stepped into view, a wave of mixed emotions washed over the gathered tourists. Some were paralyzed with awe, barely able to breathe as they took in the sight of such a magnificent creature. Others hurriedly fumbled for their cameras, eager to capture this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Excitement crackled in the air like electricity, igniting laughter and spontaneous whispers. "Look at how enormous it is," a young girl exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder as she clutched her mother's hand tightly. Her mother smiled down at her, equally mesmerized by the spectacle. A couple nearby shared a knowing glance. They had traveled thousands of miles for this very moment, and now that it was here, it felt surreal. As more people gathered, some stood on tiptoes, trying to get a better view, while others crouched low to snap pictures from different angles. The elephant appeared blissfully unaware of the attention it commanded. It moved slowly and gracefully, munching on leaves and swaying its trunk back and forth as if enjoying its own private concert put on by nature. "Can you believe we're seeing an elephant up close?" someone whispered excitedly to their friend. The sense of disbelief was palpable. Many had dreamed of this moment, but never thought it would actually happen. Every click of a camera captured not just an image, but the emotions swirling within each viewer. Joy, disbelief, and a sense of connection to something much greater than themselves. "Stay quiet. We don't want to scare it away." Another tourist shushed their group gently. Everyone instinctively lowered their voices, creating an almost reverent atmosphere filled with hushed gasps whenever the elephant shifted or adjusted its position. The stillness allowed them to soak in every detail. The texture of its skin that seemed ancient yet timeless, and the way sunlight glinted off its tusks. A father knelt beside his young son, who was holding a small toy elephant in his hands. "Look, just like your toy," he said with a soft laugh as he pointed at the real-life version before them. The boy's face lit up, flushed with excitement because now he understood what made his toy so special. Moments like these solidified family bonds while also fostering appreciation for wildlife. A small group of friends chatted animatedly about plans for later that day, but found themselves unable to focus on anything other than the gentle giant before them. "Wait until we tell everyone back home. They won't believe us," one friend said animatedly while snapping another picture. Each shot was eagerly reviewed on their cameras as they huddled together. A perfect blend of technology and nature, joined by shared enthusiasm. Yet amid all the excitement was also an undercurrent of respect for this majestic animal's presence. Tourists marveled not only at its beauty, but also pondered what life must be like for such creatures in their natural habitat. Conversations drifted toward environmental concerns. Some wondered aloud how they could help protect elephants and their homes from threats like poaching and habitat loss. "I hope it feels safe here with us," a woman said softly to her partner, while keeping her gaze fixed on the elephant's calm demeanor. Her observation resonated deeply among those nearby. There was an understanding that witnessing such wonder came with responsibility. The need to respect wildlife above all else. Suddenly, laughter erupted from behind as someone made a joke about the size of the animal compared to their own clumsy attempts at yoga poses earlier that morning. Laughter broke through any tension lingering in the air, like sunshine chasing away clouds. A bonding moment forged through silliness amidst true wonder. As time passed slowly, yet swiftly all at once, tourists continued snapping pictures while exchanging glances filled with shared excitement. There were exclamations over Instagram captions already forming in their minds, and thoughts drifting toward stories they'd tell when they returned home. Tales not just about seeing an elephant, but truly feeling part of something larger than themselves during this precious encounter. The crowd naturally began to shift closer together. Strangers became companions, bonded through mutual amazement and joy, in sharing this experience side by side. One heart aligned, rhythmically pulsating under layers upon layers, painted through memories created right there before them amid nature's wild embrace. While all eyes remained glued to this incredible sight, unfolding just feet away from them beneath trees dancing playfully overhead. What would happen next? What awaited beyond those thick branches? Would this unforgettable moment transform into one filled with even more wonder or mystery? Whatever lay ahead would forever be etched into their hearts as they stood united in awe beneath dawn's light, graced by nature's gentle giant. As the majestic elephant continued to explore the clearing, an air of tranquility enveloped the camp. But it was soon about to be interrupted. The gentle giant seemed completely at ease, enjoying the lush greenery that surrounded it. With each deliberate movement, the magnificent creature munched on a few leaves and swayed its trunk in what appeared to be a dance with nature. The tourists watched in rapt attention, hearts filled with joy as they absorbed every moment. Then suddenly, without warning, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. As if sensing something deeper than mere curiosity, the elephant raised its trunk and let out a low rumble that seemed to vibrate through the very ground they stood on. Tourists exchanged glances filled with excitement and anticipation. What would happen next? Just as everyone leaned in closer, eager for whatever spectacle was unfolding, a peculiar sound broke through. The soft rustle of leaves, followed by a light thud. In an instant, all eyes shifted downward as something dropped from the elephant's trunk. It fell silently onto the soft earth beside its feet, bouncing slightly before settling. A hush fell over the crowd, as if someone had pressed a mute button on their shared exhilaration. The once lively chatter dwindled into whispers of surprise and curiosity. What could this unexpected gift from nature be? The tourists stood frozen in place, breathless as they strained to see what had just happened. Children clutched their parents' arms tighter while adults exchanged puzzled looks. What was that? Someone whispered hesitantly, feeling unsure yet intrigued about approaching this new mystery. As eyes widened and breaths held in suspense, an older man cautiously stepped forward. A self-appointed ambassador of exploration, perhaps? He squinted down at where the object lay, nestled in the grass. Other visitors quietly followed suit, slowly inching closer to get a glimpse of this intriguing development. The sunlight filtered through the branches overhead, casting playful patterns on both the ground and upon this newly dropped item. It was a stunning piece of vibrant fabric. Perhaps an article of clothing or some colorful cloth that glimmered against earthy tones below. The colors danced under sunlight, with blues and reds intertwined like ribbons unfurling in a gentle breeze. Gasps rippled through the group as they took in its beauty. It was unexpected, yet mesmerizing, the kind of thing one might never expect to see lying beneath an elephant's foot. What could have led to this? Was it discarded by someone nearby during their travels? Or perhaps it had been gathered by this gentle giant itself. What do you think it is? One child asked her mother softly, while pointing down toward the object. The mother simply shook her head in wonderment and let out a light laugh despite her confusion. She too felt drawn toward discovering more about this enigma. The tension began to dissolve as laughter replaced silence. People started buzzing about various theories surrounding how this vibrant cloth made its way into their encounter with such an awe-inspiring creature. Each whisper, mixed with giggles, turned into excited chatter that slowly rekindled their earlier enthusiasm. Suddenly realizing that they were witnessing something special, not just because an elephant had appeared, but also because it had unexpectedly gifted them with curiosity embodied in this colorful piece. Visitors leaned closer together as if making a circle around their newfound treasure. "Should we touch it?" someone asked tentatively after stepping forward with wide eyes full of wonderment yet caution hanging gently behind them like wispy clouds, hiding sunlight moments before rain. Another remarked playfully, "Maybe it belongs to its long-lost friend." Laughter erupted among those gathered once again, everyone's spirits lifting higher like balloons floating freely into the sky above them. With excitement building within their hearts and minds, swirling around questions about what would happen next. Fingers twitched eagerly toward snatching up whatever belonged to such vivid colors lying just there underfoot. And just when anticipation threatened to burst forth like confetti from joyous celebrations. Would they reach for that marvelous fabric or perhaps stay back? In either case, one thing seemed certain. This moment would forever linger long after they left behind all traces of dawn's light, dancing across treetops beneath which memories were now taking root alongside that captivating creature who sparked adventure anew amid shared delight unexpected. As the vibrant piece of fabric settled softly on the ground, an eerie silence enveloped the crowd, contrasting sharply with the earlier buzz of excitement. The air felt thick with a mixture of disbelief and wonder, as if time itself had paused to allow everyone to process the unexpected turn of events. Tourists stood frozen, eyes wide, mouths slightly agape, each person caught in their own moment of astonishment. The initial gasps of delight had transformed into hushed whispers, and a wide range of emotions played across the faces of those gathered. There were expressions of surprise, curiosity, and even a hint of confusion. A little boy squeezed his mother's hand tighter, looking up at her with big, questioning eyes. What just happened? He wondered aloud, his voice barely above a whisper. His mother knelt beside him, her own gaze fixed on the colorful fabric that lay like a forgotten treasure beneath the immense shadow of the elephant. An older couple nearby exchanged glances, eyebrows raised high in disbelief. This was not what they had anticipated when they planned their trip to the jungle. They had hoped for a glimpse of wildlife, but never dreamed it would come with such a surreal twist. The woman leaned closer to her husband and murmured, "Do you think it belongs to someone? Or is it just something the elephant found?" Her voice held a tone of wonderment, echoing the thoughts swirling in everyone's minds. As silence reigned, a sense of shared experience settled over the crowd, a collective moment that united strangers in their astonishment. People slowly began to inch forward, as if drawn magnetically toward the brilliant piece of fabric. The elephant, seemingly unfazed by its audience's reaction to its offering, resumed its peaceful munching on nearby leaves, occasionally glancing back at the gathering with gentle curiosity. "Is it safe to go near it?" Someone finally broke the stillness, casting a cautious glance at the group before taking a tentative step forward. The question hung in the air, prompting others to nod in agreement or shake their heads in uncertainty. It was as if everyone was waiting for reassurance from one another that this surreal moment could indeed be approached. A young woman standing at the front finally gathered enough courage to take another step closer. She crouched down cautiously, her heart racing with excitement and trepidation. The sunlight danced on the fabric, drawing attention to its vibrant colors and intricate patterns that seemed alive under the bright rays. "It's beautiful," she exclaimed softly, barely able to contain her wonder as she reached out tentatively to touch it. The moment her fingertips brushed against the fabric, a ripple of energy surged through the crowd. It was as if they had all taken a collective breath together. Anticipation filled the space between them. Slowly, more people edged forward to join her in examining this unexpected gift from nature. "Wow, look at these colors," a teenage boy exclaimed as he squatted down beside her. He pointed out how the blue blended with swirls of red and yellow, each hue telling its own silent story. Laughter began to bubble up again as others joined in on their observations about the fabric's beauty and its mysterious origin. "Maybe it's from a lost tribe," someone joked lightheartedly, which sparked giggles throughout the group. The earlier seriousness began to fade away as laughter took hold again. Shared joy replaced silence like sunlight breaking through clouds after a storm. While some debated whether they should retrieve the cloth or leave it untouched as a special reminder of this encounter, others began to form theories about how an elephant might have come to possess such an item. "What if it was part of a picnic?" suggested a man with a chuckle. "Maybe it belongs to someone who tried feeding it." The chatter grew animated as tourists exchanged ideas and laughed together over their imaginative scenarios. The tension from earlier melted away completely, replaced by enthusiasm and camaraderie formed through shared astonishment at how nature had intertwined their destinies for this fleeting moment. As they contemplated what might lie ahead, both in terms of this colorful mystery and their adventure within the jungle, the tourists found themselves united by this extraordinary experience. They shared smiles filled with warmth and gratitude for witnessing such an unexpected twist in their day. In that moment of silence turned celebration, everyone felt connected, not just to each other, but also to something greater than themselves. Nature's ability to surprise and inspire wonder amidst life's unpredictable rhythms. And so, surrounded by laughter and curiosity, they prepared for whatever magic awaited them next. As the vibrant fabric lay on the ground, the initial shock began to fade and a wave of curiosity swept through the crowd. A few brave souls exchanged glances, silently encouraging one another to step closer. The elephant, now grazing peacefully in the background, seemed oblivious to the stir it had created, its gentle demeanor calming any lingering apprehension. "Come on, let's go take a look," a young woman urged her friends, her voice a mix of excitement and caution. With hearts racing and smiles gracing their faces, they edged toward the colorful cloth. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows that danced over the fabric, enhancing its beauty and drawing them in like moths to a flame. The first to reach the cloth was an older gentleman with a camera slung around his neck. He knelt down slowly, allowing himself to fully absorb the moment before touching it. "It's even more striking up close," he said softly, his eyes sparkling with wonder as they followed the swirling patterns. Others gathered around him, equally captivated by this unexpected gift from nature. "I can't believe it came from an elephant," one teenager exclaimed in disbelief as she crouched beside him. "This is like something out of a movie." Her friends nodded in agreement, sharing smiles of excitement at being part of such a magical encounter. With cautious fingers, the gentleman reached out to graze the fabric. It felt smooth and cool against his skin. Yet there was something mysterious about it. Perhaps remnants of a story long forgotten hidden within its fibers. They began discussing what it could be. "Is it from some traditional clothing?" asked a curious woman who had joined them. Maybe it fell off during a celebration, another visitor suggested, eyes alight with imagination. You know how colorful some cultures can be. This sparked an animated exchange among those gathered, each person adding their own flair of creativity to the possibilities. Meanwhile, more tourists stepped forward, drawn by the unfolding scene. They formed a small circle around the vibrant piece, many kneeling or crouching down low to get better views. Children were lifted onto their parents' shoulders for a glimpse of the mysterious object that had caused such excitement. "Let me see! Let me see!" a little boy shouted excitedly as his father gently hoisted him up higher. The boy's wide eyes shone with awe as he pointed at the fabric. "It looks like it has magic colors. Maybe we should call it elephant magic," chimed in one of his friends playfully from nearby, causing giggles to ripple through those listening. As laughter danced above them and conversations swirled like leaves caught in a breeze, people continued to examine every inch of the cloth. Its intricate patterns and vibrant hues evoking questions that stirred imaginations and spurred curiosity about life beyond their immediate surroundings. "Do you think we should touch it?" asked a shy girl standing slightly back from the group. She had been observing intently while mustering her courage. Her mother smiled reassuringly and encouraged her to join in. "It's okay. Just remember to be gentle." With newfound confidence from her mother's words, combined with the joy emanating from those around her, she stepped forward hesitantly but resolutely. Slowly reaching out her fingers towards the fabric, she felt its coolness against her skin as she traced along one swirling blue line mingling with brighter red ones. A sense of community blossomed in that moment. Everyone standing there shared an unspoken understanding that this was not just about an elephant dropping something, but also about connecting with nature together. Nearby adults were exchanging ideas about where this fabric came from. Was it possibly discarded by someone on an adventure? Had an artist perhaps lost it when inspired by nature? Each theory linked them deeper into conversation, following shared laughter, their earlier trepidation replaced by intrigue. A man stepped forward and joked lightheartedly. "Maybe we're all just part of an elaborate magic trick set up by that elephant." It knew we'd gather around. Laughter erupted once more as ideas bounced back and forth like playful butterflies, fluttering along on warm afternoon air. The circle around elephant magic grew wider as more visitors arrived, eager to join in on something special, unfolding before their very eyes. They found themselves embraced by warmth, stemming not only from childhood amusement, but also adult appreciation for transcending daily lives, through unexpected connections sparked by wonder amidst wildlife's allure. As they investigated further together, sharing thoughts about their adventures ahead amid laughter tinged with awe. The real magic blossomed not in what was discovered, but rather in how they chose to explore this slice of life beneath towering trees, kissed by sun-dappled skies above. As the vibrant fabric lay on the ground, the tourists began to examine it more closely, their excitement transforming into intrigue. Each person leaned in, eager to discover what this colorful piece might be and what significance it could hold. The sunlight, now fully risen, illuminated the fabric's intricate patterns, revealing not just its colors, but also details that hinted at its stories. "Look at these designs," exclaimed a young woman as she traced her fingers over the swirling patterns. "They remind me of traditional textile art I've seen in markets back home." The fabric was a riot of colors, deep blues and rich reds, intertwined with bright yellows and greens, creating a visual feast that captivated everyone. It was as if it had come alive, telling tales of distant lands and cultures woven into its very fibers. Nearby, a group of children giggled as they lifted the cloth slightly, marveling at how lightweight and airy it felt. "It's like a magical cape." One girl laughed, pretending to wrap it around her shoulders as if she were a superhero ready to save the day. Her laughter was infectious. Others joined in, momentarily forgetting their earlier hesitations and embracing the joyous atmosphere surrounding this unexpected discovery. "What do you think it really is?" asked a curious boy who had been standing back, watching intently. His eyes sparkled with wonder as he contemplated the possibilities. "Do you think it belonged to someone?" The crowd murmured in agreement, each person pondering its origin. "Maybe it's an old scarf from a traveler who sat under that tree," suggested another tourist thoughtfully. "Or perhaps it was used during a local festival." An older woman spoke up, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "In some cultures, fabrics like this are blessed before being worn or used in celebrations," she explained gently. "They carry the hopes and dreams of those who create them." Her words resonated deeply with those listening. Suddenly, the fabric felt imbued with meaning far beyond its vibrant appearance. As whispers of appreciation danced among them, someone pointed out an unusual detail: a small tag sewn into one corner of the cloth. Intrigued, several people crouched down to inspect it closer. Could this tag hold clues about where the fabric originated? A few moments later, they deciphered faded lettering that hinted at a local artisan market not far from where they stood. "Isn't that incredible?" exclaimed one man enthusiastically. "This could actually connect us to an entire community. Imagine what stories these threads could tell." His excitement was contagious, sparking animated discussions about how important it was to protect such craftsmanship and support local artisans whose traditions may be fading away in today's fast-paced world. As they marveled at this newfound discovery, their imaginations running wild, the elephant continued to graze peacefully nearby, seemingly unbothered by all the attention focused on its dropped treasure. Tourists began taking selfies with the colorful fabric fluttering in the gentle breeze behind them, each picture capturing not only the beauty of nature, but also celebrating their shared sense of wonder. A little boy piped up again amidst laughter. "Should we take it back to show everyone else? They'll love seeing elephant magic." The suggestion ignited enthusiasm within the group. Many nodded eagerly at the idea, while others chimed in about how they would explain this delightful encounter when returning home, with laughter echoing through the clearing like music flowing through trees kissed by sunlight above them. What had once been silent awe transformed into celebration. They felt grateful for this moment brought forth by an elephant's simple act of dropping something extraordinary from its trunk. As visitors turned to gather around for one final look at their shared treasure, a vivid connection linked together by adventure. They understood that this piece of fabric would forever remain more than just colorful cloth. It would symbolize curiosity ignited by nature's wonders and friendships, forged through collective experiences amid wildlife's embrace. And so they prepared to return toward camp, hearts lightened by joy and spirits uplifted by shared laughter, as memories began taking root along pathways, leading back homeward under skies painted beautiful hues reminiscent of life itself. As the tourists continued to admire the vibrant fabric, conversations began to shift toward contemplating why the elephant had dropped this particular item. Some speculated that it was no accident. Perhaps it held a significance deeper than anyone realized. "Maybe this was meant to be found," suggested a young woman with bright eyes who had been pondering the fabric's fate. "It's like a gift from nature itself." Her statement sparked a thoughtful silence among the group, each person considering the implications of her words. Could it be that the elephant had chosen to drop this fabric intentionally? Some believed it could symbolize a connection between humans and these magnificent creatures, reminding them of their responsibility toward wildlife and conservation. An older man chimed in, recalling how elephants were known for their strong memories. These animals remember their friends and places long after most of us have forgotten, he said. Perhaps this cloth is a reminder for us to cherish our encounters with nature and carry those memories with us. His insights resonated with many. They began to see the fabric as more than just a colorful piece, but as a bridge between their world and that of the elephant. Perhaps it was left behind by someone who visited this jungle long ago, mused another tourist, his voice thoughtful. Someone who felt moved by their experience and wanted to share it with others. And now, by finding it, we are part of that legacy. The idea that they were connecting not just with their surroundings, but also with past visitors brought an air of reverence to the unfolding moment. As they turned the cloth over curiously, tracing its patterns and feeling its texture, questions circulating in the air transformed from mere speculation into expressions of profound connection. For many in the group, the elephant's act became synonymous with tourism's influence, reminding them that each new visitor brought stories, hopes, and dreams entwined like threads within those vibrant colors. It also shows how intertwined we all are, a woman pointed out, glancing back at the elephant peacefully grazing nearby. This drop is a reminder that we must be mindful travelers. We come here seeking adventure while also impacting the very landscapes we visit. Conversations turned towards how they could contribute positively to nature, the importance of supporting local communities and preserving the wildlife habitats surrounding them. As laughter and chatter flowed once again through the clearing, reflecting on shared experiences both recent and distant became vital. Each tourist seemed eager to connect not just with one another, but also with something larger. A collective mission that reached beyond personal enjoyment into stewardship for future generations. "Let's take a picture," called out one. Enthusiastic traveler, breaking through their contemplation like sunlight-piercing clouds. She gestured for everyone to gather around the vibrant fabric as they posed. Smiles lit up faces filled with joy and gratitude at having sustained such an unexpected encounter. As cameras clicked and phones captured every joyful expression along with their colorful treasure, their hearts swelled with warmth, knowing this moment would forever imprint on their memories. They understood that this experience symbolized not just fun or adventure, but also reflection on life's intricate tapestry, woven together through moments shared under trees, swaying gently in soft breezes. With that understanding settled within them like seeds planted in fertile soil, they each found renewed purpose behind what had just unfolded, taking responsibility for how they traveled through spaces rich in culture and beauty, while appreciating nature's gifts without taking them for granted. And so, as they prepared to leave this magical junction, hearts full from laughter shared here beneath canopies, kissed by morning light. The tourists donned smiles that mirrored each other's, while remembering not only what lay ahead in their own paths, but how this day would echo in their actions moving forward too. For in discovering something beautiful left behind by an elephant, a simple piece of fabric transformed into memory, they had also unearthed truths about themselves amid nature's wonders far beyond expectations initially sought when coming here altogether. As the excitement continued to buzz within the crowd, word of the elephant's extraordinary drop quickly spread throughout the camp. Staff members who had been preparing breakfast and setting up for the day's tours paused in their tasks and rushed over, drawn by the laughter and animated chatter that echoed through the clearing. "What's happening?" a young guide asked as she approached, her eyes widening as she caught sight of the vibrant fabric lying on the ground. The tourists eagerly filled her in on the story, recounting how they had witnessed the majestic elephant drop this colorful treasure. As they spoke, their hands gestured enthusiastically toward the intricate patterns woven into the cloth, each tourist eager to share their own interpretation of its significance. "An elephant dropped this? How incredible!" exclaimed a camp manager, grinning widely as he knelt down to examine the fabric closely. "This place never fails to surprise us. It seems like every day brings a new adventure." His enthusiasm was infectious, prompting nods and chuckles from those nearby. The staff quickly joined in on the storytelling, sharing tales of past encounters with elephants and other wildlife that had visited their camp. A seasoned guide recalled a time when he watched an elephant gently nudge a tree branch down, creating a makeshift scratching post for itself. A moment that showcased not only their strength, but also their gentleness. Laughter erupted as other staff members chimed in with anecdotes about mischievous monkeys stealing snacks from unsuspecting tourists or curious birds imitating sounds they heard from campers. "Maybe this fabric is a message," joked one staff member playfully. "A warning from nature to remind us not to take ourselves too seriously." The comment drew hearty laughter from both staff and tourists alike, breaking any remaining barriers between them as they shared in this joyful connection. In this atmosphere of camaraderie, some tourists took it upon themselves to organize an impromptu storytelling circle right there under the sprawling trees. They settled onto logs and blankets spread across the ground, while others perched nearby to listen intently. Each person took turns sharing memories related to nature. Stories about wildlife encounters that profoundly affected them or lessons learned during travels that changed their perspectives. "I once met a family of elephants in Africa," recounted one traveler. "They taught me about patience. I had never seen such strong bonds between them as they moved together." As he spoke, everyone leaned forward in rapt attention, his words weaving vivid images in their minds. The storytelling sparked further conversation among listeners, leading them to share how these connections with wildlife influenced their lives back home. Discussions flowed freely about how they could apply what they learned here to promote conservation efforts or support local communities working hard to protect natural habitats. As laughter mingled with poignant reflections under soft morning sunlight filtering through leaves overhead, moments became etched into hearts like cherished memories. The camp staff contributed animation and warmth. Their smiles brightened by shared connections created by this unexpected turn of events served only to enhance everyone's experience. "Let's not forget to capture this moment," called out one tourist suddenly, pulling out her camera. She encouraged others to gather around for group photos alongside elephant magic, the fabric now central to their adventure that morning. And soon enough, smiles illuminated faces reflecting boundless joy against nature's backdrop. With each click of a camera lens capturing joyous interactions between travelers and locals alike, their spirits lifted higher than ever before. This encounter became more than just fun. It was transformative, a celebration blending laughter, friendship-building moments rooted deeply within life's tapestry, woven by shared experiences amid wildlife. As they wrapped up their impromptu gathering with plans on how best to honor this morning, whether through donations or supporting sustainable practices, everyone felt thankful for not only what lay ahead, but also for having encountered an elephant whose simple act brought forth layers of connection yet unseen earlier that day. And so, finally prepared anew for whatever adventures awaited them beyond glimmering horizons, they left behind traces painted through stories exchanged amid trees, whispering secrets carried over generations. Their hearts filled with joy at discovering not merely an extraordinary experience offered on safari, but meaningful bonds formed by life lived truly connected through nature's embrace. As the sun began its slow descent, casting a warm golden hue over the jungle camp, the tourists lingered in a state of joy and reflection from their earlier encounter. The vibrant fabric, now regarded as elephant magic, had turned out to be far more than a mere curiosity. It became a symbol of the day's lessons learned about nature, wildlife, and each other. Gathered in small groups around makeshift seating made from logs and blankets spread out on the grass, they shared thoughts about what this experience meant to them. One woman spoke up, her voice soft yet resonant with conviction. "I think this day reminds us that we must always respect wildlife and their habitats. We've entered their world as guests, and it's our responsibility to honor that." Nods of agreement echoed throughout the group as others took a moment to consider her words. The gentle rumble of nearby leaves rustling in the breeze seemed to affirm the sentiment, encouraging further conversation. "Every time we venture into nature," added an older gentleman, "we should be aware that our actions have consequences." This elephant's drop was unexpected, but in many ways, it feels like a reminder to treasure the moments we experience outdoors while also protecting it. A young man chimed in with enthusiasm, recalling how everyone had come together to celebrate the discovery. With each story we shared about wildlife, we recognized how connected we all are, not only to each other, but also to this beautiful world around us. It's easy to forget when you're busy in daily life. His words sparked thoughtful glances and murmurs among the group as they each considered how often they overlooked nature's wonders amid their routines. As memories from earlier that day danced in their minds like fireflies sparkling at twilight. Another participant suggested they create a small pledge to honor their commitment to conservation. How about we all promise to tell others about our experience? Perhaps raise awareness of preserving these natural habitats and supporting local communities? The excitement within the group bubbled up once again, invigorating each conversation with newfound determination. Let's remember not only this morning, but also the beauty of spontaneity. Just like this elephant dropping its gift, another woman added thoughtfully. Life is filled with surprises. Sometimes we just need to pause and appreciate them. Her statement resonated deeply with many who nodded. Suddenly they saw how these unexpected moments inspired connections that could last far beyond this adventure. The sun dipped lower on the horizon as laughter rang out in delighted waves. Silly anecdotes exchanged kept spirits high, and casual reminders floated among them like whispers on warm breezes. Imagine if we could all see life through the eyes of an elephant, someone proposed playfully. Think of how differently we'd react. Maybe there's wisdom in embracing curiosity and wonder wherever we go. That comment led everyone into fits of laughter as they playfully mimicked elephant movements and gestures. Each chuckle igniting communal warmth between strangers now bound by shared insight. Soon, voices turned toward plans for continuing their legacy of awareness. "What can we do after we go home?" asked a child sitting close to his mother. She smiled proudly at his eagerness to learn. A small group loved that idea. Some suggested organizing a fundraiser for local wildlife initiatives, while others recommended volunteering efforts centered around education focused on environmental conservation. As conversations flowed freely into bubbling excitement, tapping into dreams for future endeavors, the realization dawned on them. Every journey holds opportunities not just defined by experiences made or sights seen, but rather the relationships formed along paths marked by kindness extended toward one another and nature itself. Finally, as night descended softly upon them, stars flickering to life overhead, the group began preparing for tomorrow's adventures while carrying their promises like treasures safely tucked away. They knew they would take that little piece of fabric's symbolic wonder with them always. It would serve as a gentle reminder of elephants' gracefulness, stirring hearts towards mindful living, filled with laughter shared amid whispers dancing between leaves. In those moments filled with grateful reflection, gathered amongst friends known today, only hours ago, the tourists realized they were embarking upon journeys not merely into landscapes rich with beauty, but also through bonds built deeper than mere companionship, cultivated just between time spent together through nature's embrace.